Hi, it's Jill from Jilly Bean Studio. I am playing today in my composition notebook junk journal. I hope you can come along. I have a lot of this and that today. So some painty scraps that I have been using lately. I have some new printables I'd like to share with you. I've been digging through my stash and playing with old and new stuff. These are new acrylic paints on the left, and then I use some scraps. I'm thinking about making sort of an art prompt journal. So that has kind of been on my desk. I guess this is what's been on my desk or art table kind of video today. And I have been playing with some Halloween themes. I love this Dollar Tree napkin and a little bit of glitter from nail polish. I've been putting that on the printables, although honestly, I'm not a big fan of nail polish on it, but Mod Podge glitter, definitely a fan of. So I hope you can join me today. I hope you have supplies that you enjoy or can just hang out. And I'm gonna start the first part of the video with a little bit of catch up. And I am usually a journaler who journals 2 to 4 pages a week. I do not journal every day. And what I've been playing with sort of in the middle of the month of October now is a lot of painty things. So this is a watercolor scrap. And what I decided to do was test it out, draw some images of leaves and pumpkins and such. And I'm thinking of keeping my experiments, my art experiments, in this little journal. And what I also did related to that is take a piece of tracing paper and run a quick print in my printer. So yeah, just kind of experimenting this month with a lot of different techniques and painty pages and all those goodies. So I would love to hear what you're doing in your journals. I hope that you're enjoying your journaling whatever season you're in. I am enjoying our fall season here in New England. I live in the little state of Connecticut, and yeah, just the beautiful fall leaves and enjoying the kind of cooler fall weather right now. So lately I have been using a lot of layering in my composition notebook junk journal. I love these cute little coloring book pages. And what I've decided to do, because I'm not moving, but we have had a lot of things going on with a family members that are moving, I decided to sort of just pile things in a lot lately in terms of tip-ins and kind of save journaling spots for later. So I've used this cute little die cut. I love that one from Michaels. And I'm kind of just playing with paper, piling it in. So I made a little journaling card, a tag. This is one of my new printables. I'll show you more of that later. And look at this sweet thing. This is from one of the littles in our family. And I haven't been doing a lot of writing. Oh yeah, and dessert day is apparently October 14th. So I haven't been doing a lot of writing lately. I usually I do a lot of what's called hidden journaling. I write on tags and cards and tuck spots and inside envelopes and kind of put them away. But because we've been doing so much related to helping our family members move, it's something I got to get back to. So I'm looking forward to that. And in this journal session today, I'm going to just enjoy paper and I'm not going to stress. I will get to the journaling. So on this page, I did this when I was setting up the composition notebook, most of this, but I just tucked in that pretty book page and I decided, you know what? There's just some times where we as journalers enjoy paper and I might not even journal on that page. I just love the papers. They make me happy and I just may keep it as it is. All right, so in this next set of pages and journal spread, I have tipped in 2 envelopes, and for today's journal with me part of the video, I'm going to play with a little bit of glitter. I've kind of pre-glittered actually some of my new printables, and this is something that's going to be available in my Ko-fi app. But I'm going to start taking you through a little bit of the printable process because this is not the final cut actually. So if you can hang on a little bit and indulge me, I decided to kind of run some test prints first. And I really like that process. I would recommend it if you are playing with printables too. Kind of figure out how they come out when you print them, what the color looks like, play with glitter if you feel like playing with glitter. Because as I started to do that this week, I realized there were some changes I wanted to make to the final pages. So I have here Sun, Moon, and Stars printables is what I'm calling them. And I've played with different sizes, different shapes, some jelly prints that I had, and then acrylic paint, those painty pages that I've been kind of making things with all week. And on the left-hand side, that was my starter page for the smaller Sun, Moon, and Stars. And I soon realized that really wasn't going to work. So live and learn and go with the flow and kind of practice, I think, when you're making printables. And I'll tell you why. The fonts on it, as I started to go, weren't really working because in the end, I'll show you in a little bit. It'll be easier when I show you. But anyways, I wanted to make more borders and things. So more on that in just a little bit. So let's get started with this journal spread. And I hope that you're enjoying whatever season that you're in, and I'd love to know what kind of journal you're working in. Are you working in a junk journal? Oh, excuse me, I had to go grab that napkin and my camera kind of did a blank thing. Yeah, so what are you working in lately? I would love to know. Are you working in a composition notebook? I think for me, the last few journals that I worked in were a little bit smaller, and the composition notebook size is something that I'm really enjoying. And in this journal session, I think one of the things that I love most is the layering of paper. Clearly, I had one page that's all I did, but I'm really enjoying that, and I'm letting myself be free. I'm trying not to overthink things and simply enjoy the supplies I have and playing and experimenting and giving myself the freedom to do that. So just like with these printables, I went through kind of multiple drafts before I got to something that I found would be the most usable in my journal, and I hope if you want to print them out in your journals too. Anyway, back to the task at hand in gluing, and I always speed up my videos for gluing, so you'll see that happening. I'm sure you already noticed that. Gluing this cute Dollar Tree napkin. Part of this was taking a little bit darker colors. I'm a color gal. I love bright colors. And I really appreciate working with them. I appreciate them in other people's journals. I just like that pop of color. And this Dollar Tree napkin, the blues and the oranges and the greens in it, I think were part of the inspiration for playing with the paint that I was playing with originally, and then kind of just rolled into the Sun, Moon, and Stars printables. I hope there's not too much of a glare. Let me see on this. Yeah, so the glitter Mod Podge, I have the pink one. I know there's a silver one too, is something that I think looks really sweet on top of printables. And it also actually just makes them a little more sturdy. I have an inkjet printer. So it's kind of your standard issue printer. And I also discovered along the way in practicing with these printables, because I'm definitely a newbie for sure, is that when I printed them out on regular standard printer paper, they kind of came out a little lighter. I don't know, the ink didn't seem to soak in. Oh yeah, that's my note to tell you about free printables. Got to keep myself on track. And which I've already mentioned a whole bunch of times, but anyway, they are available. Let me do that from October through November 2022. Okay. Keeping myself focused, right? And anyway, if you print these out, my point is that different paper and different printers will do different things. So this is on regular printer paper, but check this one out on the right. It's on a heavier presentation paper, and I think the ink just takes to it better. So again, experiment with it. Everybody's printers will be different, and I hope you enjoy them. You just go up to the Ko-fi app in my banner, and there are kind of 3 different versions I'll show you of them, and I just hope you have fun playing with them. So I'm going to tuck this practice one for remembrance, and then the ones on the left, I think, in my mind, I was making them for journaling cards and tuck spots and things like that. You can do that in a number of ways. You can cut them out and layer them on something to make a journaling card, and even sew around them if you have a sewing machine. Or you can just glue them right down to the page. And I had fun, I'll show you a little later, because the kind of indigo blue or purplish color of like the moon and the clouds on the solid ones is dark enough. I was using the light gel pens. So you could definitely use a gel pen on some of the darker colors. Oh yeah, and did you see? I totally cut the end of the napkin crooked. It was just like a complete miscut there, and I'm just gonna fix that up with a bit of washi tape. All right, I'm happier about that. So this thing I'm having with, look at this pretty paint. I loved doing that. That is simply the acrylic paint. Got that on sale at Michael's, smushing it around. Loving those colors. So I decided to use those and some gel prints. That patterny one there is a gel print. So this first printable has a rectangle, like a square, on it. And the second one has more full moons on it. And then the last one, this was the trickiest one for me to make, has smaller ones that I decided to take the fonts away on that earlier one so that I could make it more into borders. It would like mimic washi tape or something like that. So what I discovered in this process was I did a pretty good job going across. But hold on, there's more. Across the paper. So I like this. I think it's cute. It actually fits the composition notebook page pretty nicely. I think it's around 7 inches or so that you can cut it down to. So again, you can play with printer settings. And then, and thanks for holding on through this long experiment and journal with me, chat that I'm doing. I'm very chatty today, but I appreciate you listening and being here. So then I did it going down, cutting the long way, and it works out okay, but not exactly, you got to fiddle with it. So it doesn't cut as smoothly in a strip going down, but it works pretty well across. So live and learn and experimenting. So yeah, just a heads up that going across, I think it's going to make a cute border that way, and going down, you may want to get a little curvy with your scissors or something like that. Now, isn't this cute? My little foamy thing looks like candy corn to me. Moving on for this journal page, I set these up in the composition notebook earlier, and I may have mentioned this earlier, but because I've been chatting in a little bit here and there, I want to make sure I say it. If I said it earlier, that I'll put this in my playlist. Sometimes when you set up your pages ahead of time, you have it and it makes you feel really good, because then for me, I'm not facing the blank page and I like the feeling of having something waiting for me. That's just my personal preference. But then sometimes it's the other end. You set it up and it's really not the colors that you intend to work with that particular day. So yeah, I think everything is adjustable and fixable. And so that was kind of why I added a little bit of inking there, the orange ink, to kind of pull that background in. Now this is fun and sweet, but over the moving time that we've been spending with family members, it's kind of a move that they're able to get into the new place and they're still in the old place. So they're moving in like over a few weeks time. So we've kind of been helping with that. So one of the times I was up, I got to hang out with the kiddos, and so I brought up these tattoos, and I'm not a tattoo gal. Like, there will not ever be a real one on me, because the needle thing, no, I can't. So I have these temporary tattoos, which are so fun, and we were hanging out outside while a lot of the painting and other stuff was being done. And I got the good job hanging out with, the littles. That was more fun. And I think we were outside and the neighborhood kids were outside, and I think we basically tattooed everybody in the neighborhood. So, so sometimes when you have that bit of packaging or whatever it is, even from food or whatever, it just, it brings back a certain memory. You don't even have to write the words. So yeah, here, this is what I meant about the border. So I'm going to use the clouds today for the top border. And if I cut it down to size, it pretty much will flow at about, I don't know if flow is the right word. It will measure, that would be a word. It will measure around 7 inches. Yeah, close to that on the top. And that seems to work well in a composition notebook page. So I'm going to put that in the top. I'm loving that little Dollar Tree napkin. I think those characters are so cute. I have the little purple pumpkin that I'm considering using for the date. And here's what I meant earlier. If you use a gel pen, a light color, this is a white Uniball Signo gel pen. It's one of my favorites. I'm also looking to see that I'm spelling tattoos correctly, or tattoo. And there it is, friends. There's my tattoo. I know. And yeah, so for some of the darker inks, you can go right over that with a gel pen. And I think for the larger journaling spots and, the moons and the clouds and stuff, that would work too. So I grabbed a big old, this is huge, Sharpie marker that was close by. And because the weekends have been taken up with a lot of this moving help, I am mostly journaling on Monday. So got the 17th down. I'm going to use the Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. You can use a regular stapler. I have to say I love the Tiny Attacher. There it is. All right, we are actually now have somewhat of a page set up. Gonna tuck these practice cutoffs in, and hopefully I'll use them later in the journal. I think this will work kind of as the envelope will hold in the printable, and the little tattoo box I think will hold in for the printable. I'm not sure about the sun right now. I'm just going to paper clip it in. I don't quite know if I want it for a journaling card or if I want to glue it to that envelope. And oh yeah, I almost forgot about this. I have from our back garden a Black-Eyed Susan. They're almost all gone at this point. And I just put it in saran wrap. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but I don't do a lot with pressed flowers, and I put it like under some dictionaries, and I'm going to secure that with a bit of washi tape. Let's adjust that because I want to see it above the top of the envelope. All right, I think that's gonna work. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining me for this session. I hope that if you're interested in, oh yeah, and glitter Mod Podge, a lot of fun with that today. I would use those on the printables. I think that I know a number of journalers do, and I hope you have fun with them. And remember, just go up to the Ko-fi app. If it asks you for the amount, please put in 0. They are free in October and November. And thank you so much for watching.